The jungle moon of Cathara 7 breathed in the darkness, its bioluminescent canopy pulsing with ancient rhythms that predated all galactic civilizations. Beneath its glowing veil, Arya crouched beside a fallen log, her human eyes adjusting to the perpetual twilight that dominated this world. She had come here as a xenobiologist, but tonight she was something else entirely. A protector standing between 6 trembling cubs and the horror that stalked them through the undergrowth. The Vicari cubs huddled against her legs, their obsidian scales still soft with youth, their needle-sharp teeth chattering in fear. On any other world, in any other circumstance, these creatures would be classified as apex predators. Full-grown Vicari could tear through starship hulls with their claws and swallow prey twice their size. But these were children, and the thing hunting them was something far worse. "Stay still," Arya whispered, her voice barely a breath against the humid air. The eldest cub, Tarn, pressed closer to her side. His silver eyes, so different from his siblings' golden ones, locked onto hers with an intelligence that transcended species.
He understood.
In the 3 months Arya had studied the Vicari colonies, she had watched Tarn grow from a reckless juvenile into something remarkable. He had learned to recognize the subtle differences in her expressions, the meaning behind her gestures. Now, he would be her translator to the others. Tarn's low, thrumming growl rippled through the group. One by one, the cubs fell silent. Their bodies went rigid, instinct and trust warring within their predatory hearts. The smallest one whimpered, and Arya placed her hand gently on its scaled head, feeling the rapid pulse beneath her palm. Through the darkness, she heard it, the Shadow Maw. The colonists called it by many names, the Devourer, the silence that hunts, the end of all things. Arya knew it by its scientific designation, Umbra ferus nocturnus, a creature so perfectly evolved for killing that it existed at the very edge of biological possibility. It was a living shadow, a predator among predators, something that even the Vicari elders fled from without shame, and it had caught the scent of the cubs. Arya's heart hammered against her ribs, each beat a countdown to disaster. She had no weapon that could harm a Shadow Maw. Her research team's camp was 7 kilometers away through impossible terrain. The colony's adult Vicari were hunting on the far side of the mountain range. Beyond reach of any distress signal her communicator could send through the moon's dense atmosphere. All she had was her voice, her presence, and the irrational hope that sometimes miracles wore human skin. "Stay still," she whispered again, and Tarn's tail wrapped protectively around his nearest sibling. The Shadow Maw emerged from the tree line like smoke given form, its 6 legs moving with liquid grace. Bioluminescent patterns rippled across its body, a hypnotic display designed to freeze prey in place while death approached. Arya had seen recordings of Shadow Maw hunts. The victims always stood motionless, transfixed, until the end came with merciful swiftness. But Arya was human, and humans had walked among predators since the savannas of Earth taught them the first lessons of survival. She did not look at the patterns. She focused on the cubs, on Tarn's silver eyes reflecting her own determination. Her hand remained steady on the smallest cub's head, her breathing slow and deliberate. Every instinct screamed at her to run, to fight, to do anything but sit motionless while death circled closer. Instead, she began to hum. It was an old song, something her grandmother had sung when Arya was small and afraid of storms. The melody drifted through the jungle air, soft and strange, a sound that had never before echoed on this alien world. The cubs responded to the vibration, their own bodies picking up the frequency and amplifying it through their scales, a resonance that turned her simple tune into something otherworldly. The Shadow Maw paused, its eyeless head tilted, sensory organs analyzing this anomaly. Humans were rare this far into unexplored space. Their scent was unfamiliar, their behavior unpredictable. The Shadow Maw's hunting algorithms, refined over millions of years of evolution, found no reference for this situation. Prey did not hum. Prey did not radiate calm. Prey did not stand between predators and their meal with nothing but confidence and an incomprehensible sound. "Stay still," Arya whispered once more, and Tarn's body became stone. Hours crawled past like wounded things. The Shadow Maw circled, approached, retreated. Each time it drew near, Arya's humming intensified and the cubs vibrated with harmonics that seemed to confuse the creature's senses. She felt exhaustion creeping through her muscles, felt her voice growing hoarse, but she did not stop, could not stop. Taryn watched her with those silver eyes, and she knew he understood the cost of what she was doing. He saw her trembling hands, her pale face, the way her breathing had become shallow and labored. Yet she remained, a fragile barrier of flesh and will between his family and annihilation. Dawn broke slowly on Cathera 7, the bioluminescent canopy gradually shifting from deep purple to amber gold. The shadow maw, sensitive to light, hissed its frustration and melted back into the deeper darkness. Only then did Arya's humming finally cease. "You can move now," she breathed, her voice cracked and raw. The cubs erupted into motion, but Tarn remained frozen a moment longer. He looked at her with something that transcended gratitude, recognition perhaps of the impossible thing she had done. Then he pressed his scaled forehead against her hand, a gesture of trust among his kind reserved only for family. When the adult Vicari found them an hour later, they discovered Arya collapsed among the cubs, all 7 beings curled together in exhausted sleep. The researchers would later debate what had happened that night, how a lone human had defended predator cubs from certain death. But Tarn knew the truth, and he would carry it for the rest of his long life. Sometimes, the most terrifying predator in the galaxy was the one who could whisper, "Stay still," and make even death itself hesitate.